assumable loans all down to you and explain how they could be your secret weapon. All right. So, first of all, we're going to talk about what they are, how they work, why they even matter. I mean, like, and just kind of the basic stuff behind it, because I think a lot of people hear that term, but a lot of people really don't understand. But before we begin, I want to say if you have questions about this, go ahead and drop them in the chat. Those will pop up on our screen here, and so I can see who's commenting. If you've got something, your question you want to know, I keep getting questions across the board about kind of different things, so it's kind of cool to get some live questions. So if you're watching, drop them in, and we'll try to answer them. But Karen, my first question is to you: are all loans assumable?
No, they are not. Actually, there are only a few.
So only some loans can be assumed by a new buyer. Okay.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and find out what an assumable loan is and how that would make sense.
Yes. So an assumable loan basically lets you take over the existing mortgage that somebody else has, same balance, same interest rate, and the same terms. So say they've been paying on the home for 10 years and it's a 30-year loan, you only have 20 years left. And so you're also assuming it at the current balance. Like right now, I have a very good rate in the 2% range. And I'm sure somebody would love to come in with my loan balance at 2.5%, right?
Absolutely. But can they?
They can, because my loan is a VA. And that is one of the loan types that are assumable.
See, now I don't think mine, you would be able to do that because I believe I have a conventional loan. So I don't think you could do it on mine. So hers you could, and mine you probably could not. But let's talk about why it matters, right? So why does this matter?
Well, right now, this is a very high, well, according to a lot of people right now, it's a very high interest market. So we have discussed in the past that compared to the 80s, interest rates are great right now, and they're starting to go down. But we were so used to rates during COVID where people were getting rates in the 2s and the 3s. And so when we went up to 8%, people were just freaking out and you couldn't buy as much home. So you could potentially get a 3% loan versus a 6%.
Right, which would be huge. I mean, that's several $100s there. So that would be huge.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So what advantage does it give to the buyer?
Well, first one, of course, is lower interest rate. And that means smaller monthly payments for you. Less interest over time. So if you are picking up a loan that's already been in process for 10 years, even 5 years, you're paying less interest over time. So you save thousands of dollars because your interest rate's lower, your term is also lower. And it makes the competitive edge about it is that it makes for more affordable offers on homes.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand this right. So what it really does is it helps the buyers afford more house, and it gives buyers, or it can give them an edge in bidding wars.
Correct. But, there are a few intricacies about an assumable loan, which we will go into further detail because it's just not so cut and dry.
Okay, let's continue on. So what about this? Sorry about that. What about the seller? How would that be an advantage? If you have a seller who's wanting to have somebody assume their loan, what would be the advantage there?
Well, definitely. If you have a lower interest rate, it's going to make your home much more attractive to sell. And hopefully it will get people in there to buy faster and get a better price for the home.
Okay. So if I had, it was my house and I was like you and I had the Assumable loan versus like me and I didn't have one, somebody could come in and assume my loan. I would think that would be super attractive because their market rate's going to be a lot lower. So that's kind of a perk to the buyer. So I'm assuming your house would sell more quickly than my house would be because you could offer that. And, it is kind of a tougher market right now. So it kind of helps, set that apart a lot. So I agree. Okay. We talked a little bit about what the catch is. So what is the catch? Why does this only work sometimes?
So the difference is you are not working with a normal mortgage lender. You're actually going through the servicer of the loan. So anytime, if you are already a homeowner, you receive a mortgage statement from the servicer of your loan. That is the person who you have to qualify with. So if you are thinking that you would like to make your home assumable, the first thing that you would want to do is talk to your servicer and order an assumption packet so that things are already in order and can help the process go along faster and smoother. Now, here's the big caveat. The difference in what the current balance on the home is and what the value is, the buyer would have to pay. So say that you have a home that could sell for $600,000, but the balance on the loan is only $450,000. You would have to come in with the extra $150,000. So it's really ideal for people that have recently sold a home or who are about to sell a home and have lots of equity, and they'd be able to go in and cover that gap. A lot of people are trying to right size their home, whether it's up or down in size. And if they do that, then your home could be ideal for them, and they would therefore have some cash to come in with to fill that gap.
Okay.
And then, of course, the last thing is not every loan is assumable.
Right. Okay. Makes sense. Okay. So, Carrie, can you take us through a scenario and how this example of how this actually really works? Let's look at some real numbers here, because I think that helps a lot of people really, once they see it, they understand it better.
Exactly. And that's, kind of what I was just saying, except it is nice to have something visual so that you can really process it.
I'm a total visual person.
This scenario, I'm the same way. Absolutely. So in this example, the seller has a loan of $250,000, but their home is selling for $300,000, yet their interest rate is 3%. So if you were to come in as a buyer, you would assume that $250,000 loan balance and then pay the $50,000 difference.
Right. So you're paying full price. You're still paying for it. That's just how it works. Okay.
Exactly.
That really helps. Right? It really makes a lot of sense. Okay. So what I'm understanding is assumable loans are really you kind of inherit the low rates. And I like to go back and kind of make sure I understand this. The big advantage for buyers and sellers, it can be a huge advantage for buyers and sellers, because the buyers are able to get that lower rate, and the sellers, they're going to be able to offer, get perks, get their house sold. And it's not always available, but it is worth asking about. Correct?
Yes. And most of the loans that are assumable would be your government loans, like VA, FHA, and USDA. Those are all assumable loans. But you are correct, and that's where the seller has to do their homework up front in contacting their servicer and asking for that assumption packet and seeing if it is even something. And it is not a normal turn time, so that could often be one of the downsides of it. Is it can often take longer to close a loan because you are going through the servicer, and there's a lot of things that they have to do, and they don't always move at the pace of a 30-day closing. So you have to definitely take that into consideration before you make an offer on an assumable loan.
Okay, and I do have one question for you. So you mentioned a packet, like an assumption packet. Do you know what's included in that assumption packet?
I have never ordered one before, but I did all the research. I spoke to a loan servicer in the past because I had a lot of people for a while. This became a hot topic. So I did all the research and I reached out to the servicer, and they basically just have information that they want the homeowner to fill out first. And then I'm sure that the packet will include a credit report that they need to run on the person who will be purchasing the home, and all of the documentation that would be required for the buyer.
Okay, perfect. And then you guys, if you have questions, even if you throw them after the fact, I'm happy to get some answers for you, or Carrie's happy to answer those for you. She's probably going to be the guru who you need to talk to get actually those specific answers, but I can definitely hook you up and make you connect with Carrie. You guys, thank you so much for watching, and we definitely appreciate you, and have a wonderful week, and we'll see you back here next time. Same time, same place.
Have
Thanks
a great
for joining
week.
us.